And we are away. It feels good to be back. Colours to pick out in the Tour Series. Everyone ready to get going in this year's series. Great to be here in Guisborough for the first time, a fast circuit for the riders to contend with. Out of that corner, McDermott and Tindley just opening a small gap here in this one. Ellen McDermott and Tindley open up the sprint, but Tindley comes past and takes the first points of the night. Harriet Dodd just crossing the line there in third. Finney holding on there for fourth place. Alan Uned King there of the Great Britain track team. 150 metres to go up towards the line. Abby Smith opens it up, but Tindley over the top here for Pro Noctis. Takes that second sprint. So Joe Tindley takes that from Abby Smith. Ellen McDermott takes 3. Uned King and then Harriet Dodd. So Tindley coming into this Tour Series on great form is the Pro Noctis rider. So there, Tindley with 10 points after the first sprint. McDermott on 7 and Abby Smith level with Dodd on 4 points. So big move on the front here. Still Abby Smith and Uned King gets in on the wheel here. Is Uned King going to launch one into that corner? Abby Smith just goes wide, lets her teammate come up in the inside. Oh, big slide out, nicely held on the back by Stewart, but the sprint for the win on the night. Here it comes, Uned King's going to take it for Great Britain. And she does. What a sprint there. In Guisborough, Uned King of Great Britain under-23 track team taking the women's race. Joe Tindley in second and Ellen McDermott in third. Uned King, he turned 19 last week, taken to the podium to celebrate.
We got in a little break off the front, me and my teammate Abby, and so we just controlled it, and then the girls controlled it in the bunch behind. So there was a bit of pressure to win the sprint at the end, so yeah.
Joe Tindley in second had the consolation of taking the first freewheel sprints competition jersey. Uned King returning to the podium with the rest of the Great Britain under-23 track team as the round 1 overall winning team. Meaning they don the freewheel yellow jersey, overall team leaders jerseys as the overall Tour Series leaders. So after round 1, Great Britain under-23 track team lead with 15 points. Pro Noctis Red Chili Bikes are second. Team Boom Pods are third with 13 points. The men's Tour Series on the line, ready to go. I'm sure there's plenty of riders in here that are welcoming this return to racing. We are off. Andy Tennant in the centre for defending champions Canyon DHB. Canyon DHB in control on this first sprint. 3 riders on the front, and this is how they like to ride these Tour Series races. Pack the front. Townsend, former winner of the sprints classification, has a glance back over the shoulder, takes maximum points there, and you saw Matt Gibson just throw the bike at the line, but Townsend takes 5 points ahead of his teammate. Gibson takes 3, with Bostock and Hennessy all up there. Freddie Scheschke, that familiar style of the German rider. Great victory in Salisbury, was up there in Aberdeen. Oh, Scheschke goes down on the corner, takes out lots of blue jerseys there. As they recover, we'll see just who's gone down on that one. Gibson hits the front with Page. And you can see the teammates of the Canyon DHB team, hands up. We saw some blue jerseys. Rory Townsend is down. Into the sprint lap though, Matt Gibson is going to come through here and take maximum points. Rory Townsend, of course, on the wheel. He won't count in the sprint competition, but he has picked up 5 after that first sprint, but he'll score no more points this evening, being a lap down. This is a monster performance here this evening in round 1 of the Tour Series from Matt Gibson. We know the pedigree of this man. former sprints winner, round winner. He's won stages of international races, Tour de Loire, Tour of Normandy. He's won stages of that, goes through and takes maximum points at the end of this lap. Christensen coming in for sprint 3, and John Mould there for Teckers. There's your sprint result. Matt Gibson takes 5 ahead of Christensen Mould, with Will Roberts and Charles Page up there. So Matt Gibson now top of the standings and really extending that lead with 13 points. Christensen with 10. Townsend still with 5 in 3rd place here. Here comes our individual winner on the night, Matt Gibson. What a ride from this man. He sits up, he takes the applause from the crowd. What a great return to racing here in Guisborough this evening. Leading out, Cousins is still on the front. Holt is tucked in, ready for Wales. Great track rider is Joe Holt as they line up for this corner. Oh, Cousins goes down on that corner, and it looked like Christensen went with him. Holt's got a bit of a gap, and as we said, the rain coming down on this circuit can make it super sketchy, and it has, but Joe Holt is going to lead in here, and you can see Leo Mazzoni and Isaac Mundy sprinting out there for Crimson Orientation Marketing and Richardson's Trek. So great performances from those teams behind. Matt Gibson of Ribble Well-Type Pro Cycling taking the men's win. Joe Holt coming in second nearly 90 seconds later, and Leon Mazzoni taking 3rd place. Gibson taking his first win in the Tour Series ahead of Holt by nearly a full lap. On a good day for Gibson, he returned to the podium to claim the Freewheel Sprints competition jersey. Then the whole Ribble Well-Type Pro Cycling team taking to the podium for the team win presentation. And the Matt Gibson show continued because Ribble Well-Type Pro Cycling, of course, took the Freewheel yellow overall team leaders jerseys. After one round, Ribble Well-Type Pro Cycling lead with 13 points. Crimson Orientation Marketing have 12 points, and Scotland have 11. It's a beautiful summer's evening here in Sunderland. Quite a change for what the riders had in Guisborough. And we are ready to roll out here for round 2. 1.3 kilometre circuit, that's 0.8 miles, slightly different to Guisborough, and we have got some elevation changes. But it was great in round 1 to see some of the new teams and new colours in this year's Tour Series really getting up there and fighting for the overall classifications. So it's Ellen McDermott on the front here, Joe Tindley right on the wheel, 150 metres now to go up towards the line in that first sprint. Ellen McDermott opens it up. Tindley though comes past. Can she take maximum points at the end of this sprint? Yes she can. So it's the first and second place riders in the classification in the sprints that take the 5 and 4 points on the first sprint. They come every 15 minutes in this race. Jess Finney taking 3, Beth Morrow 2, and Harriet Dodd another 1 point scored. It is fast and furious here in Sunderland as they come to the front to try and lead out for Joe Tindley. It's Amy Gornall on the front, a really experienced Tour Series rider is Gornall. 100 metres to go up towards the line. Pro Noctis mean business in this one as Tindley comes through to take that one just ahead of teammate Corin's side. What a lead out there. Amy Gornall sweeps 3rd, Ellen McDermott takes 2, and Beth Morrow takes 1. But the first 3 in that sprint, all from Pro Noctis Red Chili Bikes, and that's the sprints this evening. After 2, Tindley now with 10 points. McDermott still in there and still in contention with 6 points. It looks in this 3-race series it could come down to a battle between Tindley and McDermott for that blue jersey. Barker's got the front. Tindley is up there poised and ready. Megan Barker, Samantha Stewart still there. Barker now swings left. Tinley's got a great lead out here. 100 meters to go up towards the line. Megan Barker's got the front. Pereira James trying to come through, but Megan Barker has opened a gap. She takes the win. Jo Tindley, it's second again for Jo Tindley, and it looks like Samantha Stewart might have taken third spot, but we'll look around for those jerseys of the winning team. And Cams Basso, it looked like, had plenty of riders up towards the front, but it's an individual win on the night for Megan Barker. Megan Barker taking the women's race, while it's another second place for Jo Tindley in this year's Tour Series, and Samantha Stewart coming home in third. Thus Barker of Cams Basso Bikes taking the plaudits and the podium as race winner. The Brother UK fastest lap was recorded by Samantha Stewart with the quickest time of 1 minute 41 seconds for the 1.3 kilometre circuit. Jo Tindley took to the podium in the freewheel sprints jersey, leading the competition with 28 points, scoring 14 points in Sunderland to add to the 14 she earned in round one. Second overall is Ellen McDermott with 17 points, and third is Jessica Finney with 7. Megan Barker and her teammates took the round 2 team win for Cams Basso Bikes. Their top 3 riders, Barker coming in first, Jo Finney in 4th, and Emma Edwards finishing 14th. The overall team standings show Pro Noctis Red Chili Bikes Heidi Kietzen not only the team with the longest name, but now also the leaders in their own right, pulling on those yellow jerseys. After 2 rounds, Pro Noctis Red Chili Bikes Heidi Kietzen have 28 points, a 1-point advantage over Cams Basso Bikes. Third with 24 points are the Skoda DSI Cycling Academy. Riders on the start, ready for Sunderland. 1.3 kilometres, 0.8 mile circuit, 4 corners. So quite different to our Guisborough circuit, which was very technical. Matt Gibson taking that one, almost lapping the entire field in Guisborough. Reese Wood up towards the front in that blue jersey of Canyon DHB. They're very much packing the front. Ribble Welter in those yellow jerseys, but they try and open up for the sprint here, and it's Will Roberts on the front for the Wales Racing Academy, and Roberts takes the first sprint there ahead of Matt Gibson. So Ribble in those yellow leaders jerseys. He's still fighting it out for this intermediate sprints classification. So Reese Wood, Charlie Tanfield takes 4. Tom Mazzoni takes 1 for St. Piran. Great to see Charlie Tanfield, though, back from the Olympics. You can see that it is stretching very, very slightly, and it's Ollie Reese of Trinity Racing that's still in that gap, trying to get up here for Trinity Racing. This team, of course, the team of Tom Pidcock. He raced here of Team PH Mass in the past, but this team was put together to produce Tom Pidcock in the cyclocross. Now a road team as well as they go through the line. It's Joe Holt that takes maximum points in that sprint. Toby Barnes content to just roll through there in second, while Reese takes that 3. Will we have a sprint from the group behind? Roberts, Gibson and Mazzoni are up there. Roberts, winner of the first sprint, throws his bike at the line. It just takes that 2 points there, just ahead of Tom Mazzoni. But plenty of action here in Sunderland. It's the 2 Wales Racing Academy riders, though, on the front in Holt and Roberts. Looks like they're going to lead out for this one. Charlie Tanfield on the back. Here's the sprint, though. Matt Gibson trying to come over the top, but Joe Holt comes through, and Roberts throws the bike at the line there. So it's a 1-2 for the Wales Racing Academy. Matt Gibson takes 3 points there, with Toby Barnes, Ryan Christensen 2 and 1 respectively in this one. So the Wales Racing Academy rider Will Roberts there with 11 points so far this evening. Holt with 10, Gibson with 7. So he said the leader going into this evening. Ollie Reese is battling to try and get into the slipstream of Roberts, but we know what a fast kick that he's got. Tanfield now moves up towards his teammate. Joe Holt comes through, but Tanfield is going to lead into that corner, but out of the final turns here, and Will Roberts on the front with Ollie Reese. He's just got one left-hander to go now as Tanfield leads out that group sprint behind, but Roberts, it looks like, is going to take the individual win on the night because Reese is not coming back. Tanfield and Holt are fighting it out, but Will Roberts takes the win. Joe Holt celebrating more than his teammate. There's Gibson crossing the line. Now we look for the jerseys for the team classification. One yellow, that's Charles Page, but plenty of blue jerseys for Canyon DHB up towards the front. And there you have it, the win. Will Roberts takes the individual win here in Sunderland. Confirmation of the result, William Roberts with the win, Ollie Reese in second, and Joe Holt second in round one, coming in third. Roberts of the Wales Racing Academy taking the podium as the winner.
The last lap I attacked with just under 2 laps to go at the top of the climb. Bridged to, I think it was Ollie Reese. Hit him last time up the climb and I just felt horrendous. I was going so slow and I was just focusing on the line and going all out to the line, and it couldn't have come soon enough.
Chris McGlinchey of Team Spectra Wiggle, powered by Vitus, with the fastest lap of the course in a time of 1 minute and 33 seconds. Matt Gibson scored 7 freewheel sprint points to add to his 18 from round 1 and leads the competition with 25 points. William Roberts has 18 and Joe Holt in third has 17. The Canyon DHB Sun God team took to the podium for the team win presentation with their top 4 riders, Charlie Tanfield in 4th, Ryan Christensen finishing 7th, and Jim Brown and Andy Tennant coming in 9th and 10th respectively. But it's Ribble World Type Pro Cycling in yellow overall team leaders jerseys. After 2 rounds, Ribble World Type Pro Cycling lead the overall classification on 24 points. Crimson Orientation Marketing Racing Team have 22 points, 1 more than Canyon DHB Sun God. The riders on the start for the grand finale of this year's Tour Series. Going into the final round, you could not ask for a better scenario than this. Just 1 point separating the top 2 teams in the general classification. Pro Noctis Red Chili Bikes, Heidi Kietzen in those yellow freewheel leaders jerseys. 1 point advantage over the defending champions Cam's Basso Bikes in those fluorescent yellow and red jerseys. Dodd just sitting there for Team Brother UK. LDN was in that breakaway on the first round in Guisborough. 100 metres to go out of this bottom corner. McDermott now opens up the sprint. Tindley is poised and ready on the wheel, but Ellen McDermott, she wants this sprint's classification in her own right, but Tindley takes 2nd spot there. So first points of the night go to McDermott, but Tindley straight through. Is she going to persist now with this attack? There's confirmation of your results. Ellen McDermott just closes that gap very slightly to Joe Tindley. Finney, Fawcett and Thackeray take those minor points. Pro Noctis, are they using up too much energy early on in this race for the intermediate sprints classification? Corin's side now will open up this lead out. Tindley and McDermott, the blue jersey of McDermott of Boom Pods comes off the wheel. She takes maximum points, but with Joe Tindley crossing the line there in 2nd place, it's not going to be enough this evening for Ellen McDermott to take that jersey off the shoulders of Joe Tindley. Tindley will finish the night as the sprints winner, so 5-4 to Tindley and McDermott. Berry, Finney and Dodd, your minor placings. Tindley, McDermott and Finney now just off the front. So after 2 sprints, McDermott with 10, Tindley with 8, but it won't be enough. Joe Tindley will pull on that blue jersey come the finish. Now the focus shifts for Pro Noctis and Joe Tindley to try and take this series overall. Barker now takes the front. The track rider, so experienced is Megan Barker, can do a huge lead out on the front and deciding on this technical. Oh, Oh, huge crash for Ellen McDermott of Boom Pods. The blue jersey goes down and she's up quickly. Barker opens it up now. Tindley, can she come off the wheel of Megan Barker? Barker's got the power on the front. Is Megan Barker going to make it too? Yes, she is. She takes the victory for Cams Basso. Tindley is there. Finney crosses the line. Count those jerseys. There's Amy Gornall. She's the second counter. Looking for the third rider from Cams Basso. There's Sophie Thackeray crossing the line. There's the replay of the crash. Ellen McDermott. What a shame for the Boom Pods rider. There is your winner, though, on the night. Megan Barker taking the win. Deja vu for Jo Tindley as she came in second for the third time in the series. 3 races. Jessica Finney finishing third. Megan Barker of Cams Basso Bikes on the podium for the individual win for the second time this series, following her victory in Sunderland.
I'm really, really proud of all the girls. Like, they've done exactly what we've all kind of, our jobs all were, and the lead outs they've given me, like, if I didn't win, I would have been gutted. So yeah, it was a massive team performance.
And Barker returning to the podium as the rider recording the Brother UK fastest lap round the 1.4 kilometre Castle Douglas circuit with a time of 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Jo Tindley won the series freewheel sprints jersey with a total of 40 points, scoring 12 points on the night to put her out of sight of Ellen McDermott, who finished with 27 points. Jessica Finney finishing third with 15. With riders placing first, third and 12th at Castle Douglas, not surprisingly, Cams Basso Bikes took the team win for the round. The final standings look like this. Cams Basso Bikes and Pro Noctis level on 42 points. Megan Barker's Cams Basso Bikes taking the overall series win on countback by virtue of winning 2 of the 3 rounds. Team LDN Brother UK with 32 points, third in the final standings. Riders on the start here in Castle Douglas, 1.4 kilometre technical circuit. A town known very much for bike racing. 2016, Andre Greipel took a stage victory in the Tour of Britain, but tonight it's all about the best of British criterium riders as we roll away from the start. After 15 minutes of racing, the riders contested Sprint 1. None of the contenders for the freewheel sprints jersey, including leader Matt Gibson, scored points. It was Charlie Tanfield, recently returned from the Tokyo Olympics. It took 5 points ahead of Joey Walker, with Charles Page, Ryan Christensen and Freddie Sheshko, of course, came down in that dreadful crash in Guisborough, taking 1 point. Gibson, though, is locked in on the wheel. It's Owen Roberts of the Wales Racing Academy that's up and defending in third, but out of that corner, 100 metres to go up towards the line. Tanfield takes that opportunity to have a glance back over the shoulder. Gibson comes off the wheel, though, does he? No, Tanfield takes maximum points at the end of that lap, with Matt Gibson taking 4 points. But more importantly, his nearest challengers not scoring points, so it's Tanfield from Gibson, Owen Roberts, Leon Mazzoni and Jim Brown. 100 metres to go up towards the line. He wants this freewheel sprints competition and he's going to go through, put it out of sight. Matt Gibson takes 5 points to secure that classification overall. And there you have it. Sprint 3, Gibson takes 5 ahead of Tanfield, Owen Roberts, Isaac Mundy and Leon Mazzoni. Charlie Tanfield, though, comes through that final corner. Tanfield with 100 metres to go. Comes through on the inside of Alec Briggs. Tanfield, can he take his first Tour Series victory and finish it off? Yes, he can. Tanfield takes it from Briggs. Look at those jerseys, though. Count the jerseys. There's Gibson coming in. Canyon, DHB, they should take it on the night. But more importantly, where are the Ribble well-tight jerseys for the general classification? Thumbs up for a well-deserved victory for Charlie Tanfield. There are the next counters. Page and Sheshka, look out for those Wales Racing Academy jerseys as well. Confirmation of the Castle Douglas result. Charlie Tanfield in first place, Alec Briggs second and Jim Brown in third. Charlie Tanfield on the podium at the Tour Series, having hardly had time to draw breath since the Olympics.
I knew I had to be out this last corner first, so sat about second, third wheel and just worked my way up, and then last corner full gas and sprint all the way to the line and managed to hold them off to the finish.
And Tanfield back on the podium, having recorded the Brother UK fastest lap in a time of 1 minute and 49 seconds. Another great round in Castle Douglas gives Matt Gibson the freewheel sprint competition, which he has led since round 1. Charlie Tanfield finished second with 23 points from 2 races, and William Roberts with 18 points places him in third. Canyon DHB Sun God took the win for the second race in a row, with riders finishing 1st, 3rd, 10th and 13th. But the individual race win not enough to dislodge Ribble Well-Type Pro Cycling from the top of the standings. Ribble Well-Type with a total of 35 points, defending champions Canyon DHB Sun God just a point behind, and the Wales Racing Academy third with 33 points.